Pull up a chair, fill up a plate. Come over early, you gonna stay late. Ain't nothing better than music and friends. It's gatherings and guitars.
On today's episode of Gatherings and Guitars, Jennifer sits down with the legendary Jason Roberts. They talk about a career that started when he was a young boy, all the way through touring with George Strait and Bob Wills Texas Playboys. It's episode 8 of Gatherings and Guitars.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. This is Gatherings and Guitars. We have Jason Roberts here with us with the Bob Wills Texas Playboys. We are so excited to have you guys here tonight.
We're always glad to be here.
Yes. And it is a perfect night outside.
Yes, it is.
The black clouds came in, but they went away.
They did, and we chased them away. That's what happens when we come to play music.
I came inside and said a prayer, and they're gone now, and it is beautiful out there. And
it's going to be a lovely night.
Everyone's already enjoying the first course of dinner. And I just wanted to take a few minutes and visit with Jason and let y'all in on a few fun things about Jason and the Playboys. So when was it in your life that you just felt that music was calling you, or it was something different that you knew you were called to?
I feel like I didn't ever have a chance to really do anything else because I started so young. I was 11 when I picked up the fiddle, and all of my grandparents were really good musicians, and so they were in the house. My grandmother playing, rinky-tink piano.
Yes.
The tent. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Listen,
Knocking on the piano.
I went to church camp, music camp, several years, and that I took a hymn playing class.
Sweet.
And it's where they teach you to
stride piano. It's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what my grandmother did, and so I was heavily influenced at an early age, and I really feel like music chose me. I was 11 when I started playing the fiddle. The time I was 12, I was playing full time every weekend in a honky tonk band.
Oh my
in
gosh!
the Lampasas, Texas area. We'd
Wow.
play the VFW in Lampasas and Harker Heights and Killeen, and we'd go around Central Texas.
Wow.
Honky tonking on the weekends. My parents, bless their heart, would drive me all over creation. But
I was playing in VFWs before I was old enough to drink, for sure.
Well, that's the way good Texas people do it, isn't it? So so it happened quickly and at a young age for me, but everything just kind of really fell into place. I've never thought about doing anything other than playing music. So
that's awesome. So what age did you, honestly though? I mean, were you in college? Did you go to college?
I went to what they call two-lane university.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two lanes on the highway. No, I finished high school, thankfully, but by that time, I mean, music was a full-time job.
Right.
I was gigging 3 nights a week,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
So certainly by the time I was in high school, it was like full-blown, full bore,
Yeah, and then you made the decision, this is gonna be my career at about that time.
Well, and I mean, again, I think that fate or the God or whatever had made that decision for me, and it is God. And but by that time, I had bought my own pickup and was paying my insurance, and it had become a living for me, and a decent living, certainly for a 15, 16-year-old kid, so so by that time I was fully well entrenched in the music industry, and but I was also very lucky because I got to be around a lot of my music heroes like Johnny Gimbel and guys like that, and who I said, Johnny, what advice would you give to a young guy who wants to be a musician? He said, play all you can and get real lucky.
Yeah.
So it kind of snowballed in a hurry on me.
Wow, that's so awesome. So at what point did you meet George?
George who? Oh, George Strait. Oh, the young country singer from South Texas. I got you. Yeah. Well, let's see. Before I ever met George, I became friends with all the Ace and the Whole Band guys, Benny MacArthur and Rick McCrae and Ronnie Huckabee and all those guys that had been with George for 40 years. When George wasn't working, of course, they were honky-tonking around just like musicians do. Yeah. And so I met all of those guys first. But I don't know, maybe around 1988 or 89 or something was the first time I ever got to press flesh with George and say hello.
And how old were you?
I was probably 15, 16 years old, something like that.
Wow. Wow.
So,
That's awesome.
And he then, just like now, he's never been anything other than gracious and encouraging and, really complimentary and just a class act for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
From our sponsors.
Insurance doesn't have to be boring. Lovelace & Company is a boutique insurance agency offering a one-stop shop for all your personal and commercial insurance needs. With concierge-level service, they make protecting what matters most easy. And yes, even fun. Whether it's home, auto, business, or beyond, Lovelace & Company has you covered. Experience the difference of an insurance agency that truly cares. Reach out to Lovelace & Company today. www.trustlovelace.com, 903-786-3855. Call Lovelace Insurance Company today for all your insurance needs.
Now back to the show.
Okay, so when you're at home and you're not gigging and you're not on the road, do you cook? What's the situation at home? Are you a cook?
Those poor people at my house, they are they have to eat my cooking like 5 nights a week, 4 nights a week.
Really? So you're the main cook.
I am the main cook. My wife, she's got a few specialty dishes that she likes to do, but I'm kind of like the meat and potatoes and something green, during the week.
That was my daddy.
Yeah, and so it all works, but my wife works full time too, and so I'm kind of like house husband during the week.
Yes, when you're not on the road. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So what's your favorite thing to cook?
Well, a lot of people have, like my mother, of course, my grandmother, my mother-in-law, they all have good instincts in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
They can just like pull some stuff out and throw it in and make
recipes.
something delicious. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it, but I like to grill, so I'll grill steaks, whatever, burgers, piece of chicken, and nowadays that time is kind of short because my boys play ball, my daughter's in college, and so time's a little bit short, and so I'm all about the dump a bunch of stuff in and bake it for 30 minutes, casserole style. You know.
How old are your kids?
Well, let's see. I got 2 boys, about to be 13 and 15, and then my daughter is just turned 23 and started med school. Okay. So.
Oh wow, proud daddy, huh?
Well, I am, and we got to book some more gigs to pay for that.
For medical school, absolutely. Wow, that's awesome. So, do you have any traditions around like Thanksgiving or Christmas that, like for me, it was my dad made the cornbread dressing. Nobody touched the cornbread dressing,
that was
literally,
his deal, right?
Until it was. He knew he was sick. He was diagnosed with cancer, and he made sure that we all knew that me and my daughter knew how to make sausage gravy and cornbred dressing.
And pass that on.
Those
down,
are the 2 most important things that he always did, and so we wanted to make sure that we could do those things. Is there something that
there's not really
specialty?
in particular that I have that's like a specialty. And now that you mention that, it makes me want to go to my mom's house and like shake her and see what recipes fall out because that's I cannot cook and make it taste the way that she can. So maybe I'll inherit a few of those kind of things.
You have to.
Well, I have to, and I want to.
Because that's the whole way that we pass down those traditions and those recipes, especially for like my grandmother and my dad didn't have recipes, and it was me standing next to them in the kitchen and watching them and doing it with them.
Right.
That was the recipe. That's how you passed it down.
Right.
So you got to do that. When I was about
promise you I will.
15 years old, 16, I got in the kitchen when I had grown up in the kitchen with my grandmother because I was the baby of 11 grandkids.
Wow.
So, and the baby of 4 children. And so I spent all my extra, every minute I could at my grandmother's. And, but when I was about 14 or 15, I don't know what it was inside me, but I knew that I needed to record these things. And I would sit at the island and I would make her measure things so that we could write it down and know how this was made, her Italian cream cake, her chocolate pie, those things that were iconic to our family.
Sure.
And it's so important. It's just like, it is somewhat like the word, the Bible. That's how it was passed for so many generations, was just the storytelling.
Right.
And passing along what they had learned, And so it's such an important part of our history that I think so many people don't take the time to do.
It is, and then you're right. It is important, not only for one's family, right, to preserve those kind of inheritance almost,
Yes,
and the
it
things,
is.
but
Beautiful.
also those recipes from the generations before us. I mean, that's the history of Texas too.
Yes.
And some dishes that are special and from right here in Texas. So. I'm trying to do better, but it's also it's an acquired skill for me, right? And I don't, it doesn't come really naturally, but it gets better. The muscle gets stronger the more I use it. So.
Good.
But now I promise I'm gonna go see my mom and I'm gonna take her recipe book.
Yeah, you're like, I need to be
if
sure
she
and
even
preserve
has one
this
now
stuff.
that you say
See,
that,
she probably
she
doesn't.
doesn't, right?
She probably doesn't. I don't. I have to write stuff down for our restaurant, and weekly I have to write new stuff down because I'm like, I don't know, it's just this stuff, So, okay, so tell us where we can find you, where you're going to be, anything coming out, anything that we need to know about.
Well, let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, of course. On our social media, Bob Wills Texas Playboys, you can find us out there on just about all of the platforms. And then we're all over Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas coming up in the over this fall, and then hard again in the spring. But some really nice things. If you want to take a trip to places like Tulsa, we do the Bob Wills birthday bash up there every year in March, and at Kane's Ballroom. We got some shows in the Austin area coming up with the Playboys. But gosh, let me think. This is just one of the things that I do. I've got a little 5-piece honky-tonk group just under my name, Jason Roberts, that I do. I do a trio with a couple of friends of mine called the Texas Trio. We just put out a record recently, and we write songs and try to create new music. So that's fun too. And then you mentioned the one and only George Strait. Played
you
a few
kind of helped
shows.
him out a few times.
Well, it's mutually beneficial, you know. I did about 5, I think, shows with him this year, and then we've got one left at the end of the year for in Las Vegas during the national finals. So, if one looks, they will be able to track me
find
down.
you.
I guarantee you. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
And being a part of our dinners here on the farm. And this is their second time to the farm, and they came last fall. And this year, this is. We did it a little earlier this year, so it's a little hot outside.
That's all right. That's all right. We're not strangers to that here in Texas.
No,
either, so.
absolutely. So it's going to be a beautiful night here on the farm. And so go look for Jason Roberts directing Bob Wills Texas Playboys. Listen to their music and find where they're coming near you. Thanks so much for joining us here on Gatherings and Guitars, and we'll see you next time.
Jennifer, you know what Bob Wills would say if he were here, don't you?
What? Tell me.
That's it.
See y'all later.
Think it's fine. Sit right down and drop a line to the Texas Playboys from the Lone Star State. And I declare, we'll get it there. And if we're high, sometimes we spare somewhere. Sometimes we got we're right down the street. We're Texas Playboys from the Lone Star State.
After midnight, under the moonlight, oh, it's like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on my pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the sky turns gloomy, night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, under the moonlight, just hoping you may be somewhere walking
about that?
Pull up a chair, fill up a plate. Come over early, you gon' stay late. Ain't nothing better than music and friends. It's gatherings and guitars.